Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys, and today I want to talk to you guys about something, and it's going real deep in the community, so let's hop in the call. Let's talk about it. Alright guys, so let's jump right into it. So let me just do a couple of housekeeping before I get into the video. I am Boost in Motion. Definitely guys, just check out the channel. If you enjoy this video and watch a couple of these videos, if you enjoy those too, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and hit all. I would love to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. So if you guys want to be part of the Boost in Motion family, definitely tap in with me. And to my old Boost in Motion family, you guys been hanging out with me from yesterday to when I first started the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. And remember, if you're watching this video, always hit the like button on this video and the videos going forward, and also any old videos that you might have missed. Definitely hit like on those videos too. So I appreciate you guys so much. Anyways, let's jump into it. In this community, it's been getting pretty aggressive for the last 2-3 weeks, pretty much all of August. B58 versus VR30. That is the argument that keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And in this video, I'm going to use dragy times 0 to 60s, 60 to 130s, and quarter mile times to give you the best comparison. But also, I want you guys to check out the earlier video that I did a IG live with Boost Fiend, Daily Q50, and Turbo P. We talked about it mod for mod which car is actually better. And even in that video, they almost got me to go fully on the VR30 side, but I think sometimes we get in our echo chambers, and as much as I love Nissan Infiniti, I just looked at the numbers, I look at the data, and I look at the barrier of entry. So we're going to use these dragy times and try to do our best comparison. If I do want to look up other specific parts for the car and any other information that I know, I will share it in this video with you guys. So anyways, let's just deep dive into it and let's talk about it. On paper, based on budget, which car is easier to mod? Also, before I sit there and say this video is gonna be a comparison of the 3 Series 340, 4 Series 440 versus the Q50 and Q60 VR30s. We're not talking about the B58 BMW Super right now because that car is a lot lighter weight. It's a different type of beast, and we don't really have anything for that car until the Nissan Z comes out. Anyways, let's continue. All right, guys, so let's jump right into it. In this part, we're going to compare the 0 to 60 times of Q50s versus 340is. Now, taking a look, shout out to Boost Fiend, shout out to Daily Q50. These guys are holding down the record for the quickest 0 to 60 times. Now, shout out to One Stock F30, and I'm not too positive on anyone else on this list, but from what I know, for these guys to get times like this, they are not on stock block and or stock transmission. Most of these guys have some kind of variation. Either they built the motor and they built or they built the transmission. They're definitely not on stock turbos. They're either on some kind of upgraded turbo or even larger turbo upgrade completely with the 85 and or flex fuel XYZ, different fueling. So a lot of these cars right now, both of them are heavily modified. Now, just looking at these numbers, I could keep going on the 340 list because a lot of people's are in the 2s, and it's that barrier of entry to get into the 2-second realm isn't too hard or too crazy to get into, because you could just do a simple turbo upgrade and easily get into the 2s, the high 2s on the 340 side. But to get in the 2s on the Q50 side, yeah, you gotta go full freaking send and go ham. Yeah, these guys have pure turbos, and or they have some kind of upgrade with the transmission or the motor. Sam's car has full upgraded larger set of turbos, not OEM replacements, and a built motor, and I believe the transmission is also built. And everybody else on that list I'm not too positive of, but this is just a quick comparison of our quickest Q50 times. Now let's swap over to the Q60s. So once again, shout out to AMS Performance for holding down that 2.4 seconds 0 to 60. Shout out to them. That car has completely large set of turbos. Same thing for Joe Daddy. He has the same modification, but he's also rear-wheel drive. So shout out to him too. Jeff, from what I know, has pure turbos, stage 2s. I believe still stock motor, still stock transmission, which is pretty dope. So shout out to him for holding that down. And everybody on this list I'm not too positive of, but just know that they're not on stock. They're not. They most likely have pure stage 2s to be running quick times like this. Now for the 440 side, when I go through the list, most of these people have upgraded turbos and or some type of built motor, like the guy who has 2.3 and 2.89. Some of these guys, well, I don't know about that 2014 because I don't remember the 440 being made in 2014 unless it was overseas. But the 2016s and up, these guys, you can get low 3 seconds. A lot of these are mid 3 seconds, or people with stock turbo, not even turbo upgrade, just upgraded fuel system, and or some of them even on 93. So they're making mid to some low 3 seconds 0 to 60 on stock turbo. Yeah, it's pretty dope. So shout out to them for that. But it seems like we're really holding it down at the quicker time. So let's move forward. All right, so we're gonna take a quick look at this. Shout out to everybody on the right. That's my infiniti guys. There's really not that much fast ones. These are actually the quickest Q50, Q60s in the world, and or the quickest infinities in the world. Yeah. Comparing to the 340 list, there's really not much fast 440s. So I'm just going off the 340 list. And to be honest, looking at this list and knowing a couple of these people in their IGs and stuff, they have built motor, built transmission, a complete large turbo, and they're full freaking send. Shout out to One Stock F30 from running the streets, brother. But everybody else on this list has some type of variation of built motor and or built transmission. Of course, all of them have an upgraded turbo. Now, the Q50, Q60 list, other than AMS Performance and Joe Daddy and Sam Burrows, everybody else there still has a stock OEM turbo that's upgraded from either pure stage 2. So Daily Q50, Boost Fiend, Jeff, and I believe Venom all have OEM upgraded pure turbos. Legit. Going full send. They either have a variation of built motor and or built transmission. So shout out to them. Shout out to Jeff for holding it down. I believe Jeff is still complete stock motor, stock trans. I'm talking about untouched trans, untouched motor. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments from what I remember. But shout out to him and shout out to everybody in this chat. But just comparing these times, man, the closest we really got to One Stock F30 is Daily Q50. And I believe One Stock F30 did that on the street, and Daily Q50 did his dragy run on the street. So, I just gotta say it, man. Those cars are quick. You know what? Let's make this even better. Let's click on it and seeing what are their mile an hour. That is the most important thing. That would actually let us know how fast these guys' cars really are moving. You guys are not gonna believe this. I need you guys to look at this list. The car on the left is One Stock F30's dragy time, and the car on the right is Daily Q50's. Now, if you take a look and really pay attention, now I don't understand these draggies, but briefly, acceleration usually is high at the start, right? And then it comes down as the car is moving, and the speed is going up. Look at One Stock F30's dragy. It looks so weird. Number one, his acceleration isn't even insane from the start. And then if you notice closer to the end of the run, he actually lets go of the gas. Look at his 8th mile time and his 1,000 foot. And then look at when he crosses the quarter mile time. Insane. I don't know if this is a glitch, but I definitely seen his other draggies. His car is freaking fast. But look at the other Q50s. Remember, built motor, built trans, full send. And look at the trap times, or the trap mile an hour at the end. Doesn't make any sense. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay One Stock F30, bro. I know why you run the streets, brother. But Jesus, your car is sandbagging like crazy. People just don't know how fast your car is. Damn. Anyways, let's swap over to the person that holds down the number one fastest B58. Seems like a B58 in the world based on this dragy. So shout out to you, brother. Let's go switch over to that. Alright, so this one's a little bit better. So this is the person that's holding down the number one spot for the 340 B58 crew. And they're in 9.7. So looking at this dragy, yeah, it looks a lot more normal. But just take a look at some of the quarter mile times, 8th mile times, and or the mile an hour. And to be quite honest with you, yeah, the car is putting out quicker times, but its trap speeds are about 4 to 5 miles an hour higher than Daily Q50. I can swap over to the AMS car, but to me at that point, that's a really fully built shop car that had a lot of money thrown at it. So it'll probably be the best comparison. Anyways, matter of fact, let's just do that for fun. Let's throw AMS car into it. You know what? That's it. I give up. The one on the right is AMS's Q60. And their dragy chart is very similar to one stock F30's chart. The acceleration is super soft at the start. You can see the mile an hour is going up in the 1,000 foot and the quarter mile. And right at the end, once again, they choose to let off and bring down the mile an hour and or press the brake. Once again, if this is true and this drag is reading right, they are sandbagging completely also. The first time they got into the nines, seemed like they were going full send. But this one looks like they built the car up to a whole nother level and have been sandbagging a whole lot too. So, man, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I think... Yo, shout out to AMS Performance and shout out to One Stock F30, man. I think you guys are both sandbagging the real potential of both of these cars. And I get it. But Jesus Christ, it's freaking insane. So in this quarter mile time, I don't know what to say. Both of these platforms seems like when you throw throw all the money at it, build the motor, build the trans, put some big turbos on these cars, there's a lot more headroom in there, and the real top dogs are sandbagging these cars like hell. But if you don't think about those two cars and just pay attention to the 970 and the LEQ50's time, which seems like they're more doable, it looks like the top 340i, the top 340i is still trapping a higher mile an hour and a quicker quarter mile time. Let's go into 60 to 130s. And we'll end it off there. All right, guys. I'm tired of this. This is funny. Let's start with the BMW side. Shout out to One Stock F30. Seems like he barely gave it any gas. If I look at his chart, it barely looks like he even really tried. So that car probably a lot quicker than we even think. But all those other charts that I looked at from 2, 3, all the way down to 7, it looks like proper charts, and they're pretty fast. They all have some kind of built, have a larger turbo and or built motor or slightly built transmission. So those cars are freaking fast. Now to the Infiniti side. Who knew we would have had VQs in this community? Yeah. Some of the fastest Infinitis in the world on dragy are VQs, not VRs, guys. So shout out to all the VQ guys that are watching, like, wow. This is what happens when you build the twin turbo VQ and or build the block 2 with rods and pistons. Yeah, some of these cars are freaking fast. We just built with rods, pistons, and turbos, man. Something serious, no freaking joke. I think somebody also on this list is actually not related to Infiniti. I believe they're actually a 2JZ swap. I believe it's the first guy, the IPL. When I looked at it, it was like a 2JZ swap IPL. But outside of that, everyone else on this list is VQs. So shout out to them, man. Much love, much respect, man. Also Natish holding it down with his like 800 and something wheel horsepower VQ. Insane. And that is just a regular dude with a YouTube video compared to a full-fledged race team AMS that have a fully built Q60. But once again, I still think that AMS Q60 is sandbagging, and Daily Q50 is right behind them. So yeah, and Daily Q50 is on pure turbos. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to them for holding down the position. So let me just try to bring this video to a close and tell you guys what I honestly think, in my opinion. Also, I'm going to throw this in the video too. When you go look at the half mile time, the world record for that is Boostfiend. Boostfiend is holding on the half mile over his other competitors, but it looks like Daily Q50, when I looked at his chart, he was going uphill. So that's probably what threw him off. But Boostfiend is holding down the half a mile. Anyways, let me close out this video and tell you guys honestly what I think based on these statistics. I don't know how to feel, guys. But feelings aren't facts. We're men here, right? We're men. So men got to move a little different way. We got to look at the facts. Sorry, but AMS Performance, I think, is capping. They're sandbagging the performance of their car just based on the draggies alone. Same thing for One Stock F30. And I understand why, brother. Much love and respect to that build and the people who built that car.
You got to be that way because I know how you moving in these streets. But Daily Q50, Boost Fiend, and the other 2 to 3 other B58 340s, it seems like it's a really good comparison. It looks like it's a really good comparison. And yo, numbers don't lie. Yeah, it seems like that the B58s have more cars in the twos. Excuse me. It looks like they have more cars in the lower tens, and it looks like they have more cars in the faster, faster 60 to 130s. So numbers don't lie. Numbers just don't lie. As much as you guys want to get mad about it, yo, y'all can't beat me up. Don't beat up the messenger. I'm just showing you guys the actual numbers. Now, just also thinking about it, going to the Infiniti side, VQ guys came out of nowhere. There's really no replacement for displacement. And most of those guys who are in the VQ world, they have either they close deck their motor and or rods and pistons. That's not a stock VQ. So it is built. But knowing that they came out of nowhere and they're really holding it down for the 60 to 130s, that's pretty dope. And I much love and respect for them on that. Also, I didn't include that in one of the quarter mile times, there was a high 10-second VQ that was there, but it was trapping a higher mile an hour than all the VRs. So, those VQ guys are going to be a problem when they go closed deck and rods and pistons. But I also want to be fair here to my VR guys. Let's keep it 100. We don't have closed deck motor. So, is it really an apples to apples comparison? I would say mod for mod, yes. But engine design, at least matching a closed deck motor, no. Also on top of that, Daily Q50 is our fastest Q50, right? And he has rods and pistons from what I remember. And it's still an open deck block. When he decides to go closed deck at some point, his car will be a problem. Once he chooses to go with larger turbos, not pure turbos, larger turbos, he's damn near a 9-second car on the street, high 9-second car. So once he goes with he stated on video that he doesn't even want to go closed deck. He just want to do a larger turbos. And so at the time when he wants to do that, this car is going to be probably, once they get that car tuned in, shout out to AMS Performance, it's going to be a mid 9, low 9-second car. And seeing what AMS Performance is doing with the sandbagging, yeah, those VRs are a lot faster than we really think they are. So we got to wait and see what happens out of that camp. Also, shout out to Temis Motorsports for building, they're the only one that's like on a list where they're 900 wheel horsepower. Shout out to Racebox for tuning that car. That car is going to be a problem too. It has the highest amount of power, but that car still needs to be tuned and timed in. But sooner or later, once they get that car really running well, 60 to 130 times is going to be insane. So watch out for that car. That car is going to be no joke. And Boost Fiend Camp, shout out to Boost Fiend. I know you're coming right up there, bro. I know you're right there too with everyone. You're right there punching, throwing punches, and taking punches. So I would love to see what Racebox is going to do with Boost Fiend's car. So just thinking about it right now, and looking at the playing field, looking at, is it really an apples and apples? Looking at the barrier of entry, and just looking at the numbers alone, because I didn't look into 93 tune cars because the dragy list doesn't really show that. But there's not much 93 tune cars. Most of the 93 tune B58, 3 series and 4 series are running similar quarter mile times to Q50, Q60s. It's very similar mile an hour. So I can't really use that as a comparison. E50, and E85 on stock turbo, we can keep going hand in hand about it, but these cars are still very similar there. There's not much E85 Q50s in the 10s on stock turbos. It's pretty much the only person that I know that actually got that done was, well, Daily Q50. I don't really remember anyone else doing it on stock turbo because I remember he was not playing with that. And shout out to Justin the 340. I remember he was the first stock turbo, not a weird turbo, 340 in the 10s too. Well, his specific G20. So I don't know what to say, guys. if you're talking about getting the cars from factory or in a used market, they're very similar price. You can't go wrong with either one of them. They're going to give you very similar performance. But when it comes to now adding, building the motor for more power, more top end speed, adding turbos, I think the accessibility and the barrier of entry is a lot more affordable and easier in the BMW community. Now, some guys will sit there and say the VR community doesn't have as much aftermarket support. I would disagree. We have a lot of aftermarket support in the Infiniti community. It's just that I still think the driveline is still a bit more superior. I believe that still on stock motor, stock trans, seeing the numbers, a lot of those cars could run low 3 seconds, 0 to 60s, mid to low 10 seconds with just a single turbo upgrade and fuel. Without building their motor and transmission yet. And we just not really there yet. So all in all, in my honest opinion, yes, I still think that the B58, mod for mod, when you really want to go to high-end horsepower, there's a certain bracket where they would have to build their motor and transmission, but they can get quicker mile-an-hour times and or quicker to 0 to 60s without putting as much as investment as the Q50, Q60 VQs. But also I would add that we still are a little bit a step back in certain performance requirements because we're not really shooting meth. Most of us are not, mostly no one's using meth in the VR community. We don't have a closed deck motor. Our car is slightly a little heavier and we do have a more inferior transmission. So it isn't an apples and apples, but I'm trying my best to say mod for mod. And yeah, they're just built better from the factory. They can do a little bit more and they put a little bit more into it. So I want to continue to see what these platforms do and compete against each other. But at the end of the day, I think you can't go wrong with neither of them. Shout out to the BMW fanboys. Shout out to my Infiniti guys. Anyone who makes this part. Stop thinking that I don't love Infiniti. I'm just looking at numbers. Numbers is the most important thing to me. I'm not thinking about feelings. I'm thinking about facts at the end of the day. So outside of that, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Tap in with me. Hit the like if you like this video, like your video breakdown. If you thought it was funny, comment below. I know some of you guys gonna get mad and comment below and say, "Screw you, Boost, go to hell." Wow, all over cars. Like let's cool that off, all right? Outside of that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. You guys have a good day. Thank you everybody for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also on top of that, if you want to purchase some boostinmotion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.